Here are 7 reasons why the Insta360 Flow Pro is the best gimbal for iPhones in 2024. The Flow Pro has some amazing features for an amazing price, and the stabilization this gimbal provides is incredible, even when I'm running, as you'll see with several samples throughout this video. Number 1. The Flow Pro is the first gimbal to feature Apple Dock Kit compatibility. Apple Dock Kit is a tracking technology developed by Apple. When Apple Dock Kit is paired with compatible motorized stands like the Flow Pro, this enables iPhones with iOS 17 and later to seamlessly track human subjects. And the best part is, no additional apps or authorizations are needed to use this feature. All you need is an iPhone 12 or newer running at least iOS 17. And once you've paired your Flow Pro via NFC with your iPhone, you can use Flow Pro's tracking capabilities with your iPhone camera app or a host of other third-party apps. And I also like to use the Blackmagic camera app. It is a free app on my iPhone, but I like some of the manual features that the app has in there. And the Apple Dock Kit works seamlessly with the Blackmagic camera app and the Flow Pro. And you can, of course, use the Flow Pro with Android phones, but the Dock Kit feature, of course, is only available with iPhones. Speaking of tracking, the Flow Pro now has a tracking ring that flashes green when it's actively tracking a subject. This is really useful because you can see that light from any angle on the Flow Pro. So you don't have to be at the front of the Flow Pro, you don't have to be at the back. You can look at it from any angle and see that tracking light. And even when I was running through the woods and the fields with my son, I had no problem seeing the flashing green tracking light and knowing that it was still tracking him. Because when you're running, you don't necessarily want to be staring at that gimbal all the time. It's better to keep an eye on where you're going. And look at how stable that footage is, by the way. I wasn't even trying to hold the gimbal steady, I was just going full steam ahead to keep up with him. Speaking of stabilization, the 3-axis stabilization on the Flow Pro is really good. But don't just take my word for it. Check out some of these clips I filmed while running. And I was running hard with this gimbal. I wasn't attempting to hold it still. I wasn't attempting to do heel to toe. I was just charging ahead and running with this gimbal. Many gimbals I find I need to help them a little bit to stabilize the footage properly, but I did not feel the need to help the Flow Pro. I was able to move how I needed to for filming, and the Flow Pro took care of the rest. That 3-axis stabilization makes the Flow Pro really easy to use. And speaking of easy, this gimbal is portable and easy to set up and go. This gimbal has a compact design that makes it really easy to pack away in a pocket or a backpack. And it's also really easy to unfold the gimbal, mount your phone, and start filming. And it's also worth noting that Flow Pro is more than just a gimbal. Flow Pro also has a built-in selfie stick, a built-in tripod, and can serve as a power bank when needed. So if you're out there and your phone needs a charge, you can easily hook up your phone via the USB-C cable to the Flow Pro, and you can give your phone a quick charge using the battery that's built into the gimbal. And the built-in selfie stick and built-in tripod, those of course offer a lot more creative angles and options when you're filming, especially when you're solo creating. Speaking of more creative angles, the Flow Pro offers true 360-degree panning while tracking. This means no more interruptions when tracking. Many competing gimbals, such as the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, they do not have that 360-degree panning. You are limited. They will go pretty far in each direction, but they won't rotate infinitely with that 360-degree tracking. With this 360-degree tracking, you don't need to ever worry about the tracking not being able to follow you. So if you're doing a live stream or any type of event where you're moving around, you can do what you're doing, and this gimbal is going to do the rest. Speaking of tracking, the AI-powered Deep Track 3.0 on the Flow Pro is really good when you use this feature with the Insta360 app. Once Deep Track 3.0 is enabled, Flow Pro will remember the target person throughout the recording, and it will continue tracking that person that you tell it to. And if that person goes behind an object and they're hidden for a bit, it's going to remember them and start tracking them again as soon as it can see them again. You can also track other objects such as animals using the Flow Pro and the Insta360 app. And finally, Flow Pro allows for many other creative use cases as well, including hyperlapses, time-lapses, and panoramas. I personally love creating hyperlapses and time-lapses, so those use cases I get a lot of use out of with this gimbal, and I find these can be really helpful for creatively showing the passage of time. Hyperlapses and time-lapses are great for that, especially if you need to show that passage of time in your vlog or whatever story you're telling. They're super useful for that. And the panorama photo is very cool, especially if you're in a really scenic place. I love that panorama photo feature. As of the time of filming this video, the Flow Pro is currently priced at $149 USD, and I must say the value it provides at this price point is excellent. Speaking of Insta360, if you own the Insta360 X4, or you're interested in learning more about the X4, check out this playlist right here.